Actually, it's East Walker Road, not Avenue.
Okay. No problem. Let me just put a couple things on a different screen here. Spreadsheet. Oops, that's not the right one. Okay. Cool. Okay. Oh, and then actually I'll put prop stream on here as well. Alrighty, so let's take a look at it. You put it in the comment box somewhere, right? Let me see.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Okay. All right. Here. Are you having a good day today?
I am.
Awesome.
I am. What about you?
Yeah, it's going well. Thank you for asking. It's Friday, so that's good, right? Everybody loves
do these
Friday.
meetings every Friday?
Yeah, so we do this call Fridays. It's our open office hours / deal analysis for anybody that needs to look at a property that needs to get comped, or just talk about general stuff in the business you might be struggling with, or you may need help with, or really anything related to the real estate business. And then on Mondays we do live calls. We call it like a celebrity dial, where we have other people that if they want to get on the phone and have some critique or sales training. It's some really light sales training and just overall critiques when it comes to live calls, because I know that is a big crux for a lot of people, is just getting on the phone and feeling comfortable. So those are the two main ones. And then on Wednesdays he's got he usually has an expert interview of some kind. Can you see my screen, by the way, Jacqueline?
I can.
You can?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. You said it was Hampton. I feel like let's see. Okay, so this is a market deal. Cool. It's contingent, so I'm assuming that's you.
Yes.
Cool. Is your due diligence up today, or?
I believe it's tomorrow, but I really wanted to make a decision about it today. But yes, I believe it's tomorrow.
Okay. Cool. Let's see if we can help you out here. So I really like to use Redfin, just for like a really general glance. By the way, where is Hampton, VA? I thought I was familiar, but let me double check. Okay, yeah, okay. So it's in Newport area.
Yeah.
News. Okay. Awesome. Do you live in this area, or?
I do not. I am familiar with it a little bit, but no, I do not live in that area.
Okay, cool. That's all right. Where do you live?
I am in North Carolina.
Awesome. Isn't that great? You can just look at deals anywhere.
Yeah.
So let's take a look. So yeah, like I said, I normally like to use Redfin as a quick glance to get some comps, but when the property is listed, it won't show you comps. So sometimes this might seem like more trouble than it's worth, but sometimes I like to get on PropStream and look at properties that have sold around it that are comparable, and then go back into Redfin and use that address as a means to comp the area. Because I like to, especially when I'm doing a deep dive, which like an actual property that you're trying to make a decision on, right? As opposed to like just a general idea, right? You're trying to make a decision whether or not to buy this, so you want to go a little deeper on these. So let's see.
Well, I can give you just a little information on it and why I'm having difficulty moving it, if you like.
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to hear.
And I'm trying to load my system. I apologize. I shut down. I'm trying to load my system so that I can get to the comps. But one of the issues is that my price is off. I have a bid in for it for 155, but it wasn't until after I purchased the property that I noticed that it's attached as opposed to detached. I thought it was a single family home, But if you look closely, I'd never seen brick houses like that connected. And it's actually connected, which made my numbers off a little bit.
Oh, this is a condo.
No, it's not a condo.
Oh, but so then I'm sorry, I apologize. So you were saying that, so this is, you're saying that which part of it is detached?
Yeah, see, it's really hard to see. If you go through the pictures,
Huh?
and if you go back one
Oh,
picture.
okay.
If you look above the garage, you'll see a little, like above the garage, you see the brick house right above the garage?
You talking about this one?
Yes, that's actually a second house. And
Wow.
I did not see that.
Okay, so interesting. So let me just look at the street view really quick. So,
Okay.
so you're saying that, okay, so this is it, right? I think.
And because of that, it brought the value of the house down. My numbers were off and
And just, whoa, okay. All right. So this is a very interesting property.
mm-hmm. Yeah.
Uh, you know, and sometimes with these, I mean, we're by no means experts. We're active in the business, but yeah, I mean, I wouldn't. This one may be difficult to comp. I just want to put that preface by saying that. But so, why is it listed as a condo? Did you notice that, or
I did not see it listed as a condo.
right here it says
Um,
type is condo. So come see this well-maintained Cape Cod home, historical Aberdeen. Okay, all right.
Let me
Interesting.
go back in there.
So that's interesting. So let's yeah, let's take a
Where
look
do
at.
you see it listed as a oh, okay, property type. See, I didn't see that. I thought it was a single family home.
I mean, it
They've
looks
never,
like a single family home, so it's very understandable that you would, possibly glaze over that, Um, that is very bizarre though. I've never really seen that kind of style of so it's interesting because prop stream it says that this is a single family residence, right? So I'm wondering if, you know, this if it was this particular owner that did this, or if that is if that I mean, let me see. Uh, yeah, I'm just it's kind of piqued my interest here. So let me see. Again, I was looking for other kind of comparable type of properties. So this one, let's see, max 3 bedrooms. Let's see what. Okay, so I said it looks like this was originally two homes, and this was likely a driveway, and that they probably combine, maybe one sold the properties and now they've turned it into one single plot. And then these were additions. That's my guess. I don't know. That's what it looks like to me, right? Do you know, have you talked to the agent and verified any of that information? See?
well, they haven't mentioned anything about, the only thing the agent verified, which I have a buyer's agent, but that's because she referred the property to me. Um,
Okay.
the only thing she mentioned was she talked about the connection. She said that the shared wall, but that it's, I think she said, I don't know, she said it was garage. So the houses aren't actually connected. She talked about the connection. Like she
You
said,
can't walk into the
townhouse.
front door, right? Oh,
Right.
okay. Got it.
So she didn't say anything about any additions or anything.
Okay. very, very interesting. I mean, just obviously with a different color roof, right? It makes me feel like that's the case. I'm just curious what Zillow has this. So Zillow has this listed as a single family residence. So it's very strange. But hey, that's okay. All right, so let's see. Yeah, okay. Well, then this one probably is a good comparable. Then, well, see if there's anything. Again, I was trying to find one that's maybe like closer to the age, but we may not get one. But it is all brick, right? Both of the buildings, four-sided brick.
Yes, and that neighborhood also, just like single family homes as well, because I've looked at,
Mm-hmm.
you know, some that have sold.
Yeah, so I don't know. This one's probably comparable, right? This is like the exact same year built. I don't know the curbside yet, but this one looks like it's sold for what? Well, they have a loan for 175, so we'll see what this one's sold for. So I'm going to try to use this one, see if we can get some kind of comparables that are similar. So let's see. Okay, so yeah, this is a great one. This is perfect. See if they listed this one as a condo co-op. Single family. Huh. Odd. Well, that's about as good a curbside as one's going to get with this.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird. It doesn't even say that this one's sold. Let me see if Zillow says this one's sold. Just trying to find the sale price on this one, because obviously that's important to you. Let's see. Okay. All right, so this one sold for 175. Cool. Okay, and that was sold a few months ago. So this is a great comp. And unfortunately, there's no photos. I'm assuming that's because it probably wasn't in very good condition. That's my guess. But perfect. So let's see what this has for comparables. So these are all. If you come down there, you can see the map, and you always want to see which ones are the closest. So you got B, which is one that I already looked at. So that one, this one's for 170. It's 18 years newer. But to me, it's not all brick. So I'm about to sneeze, but yeah, this is like, even though it's newer, I mean, I think that the fact that it's an all brick building adds, people are more interested in an all brick building, obviously for maintenance purposes, right? You don't ever have to change the brick. So, that's good news. And then, it looks like, so this one was 0.44 of an acre, right? And I just want to make sure we're looking at similar lots as well. This one is 6,000 square feet. So that's actually like 42,000 square feet is like an acre. So that would be what pretty a good bit small, but that's okay. All right. So it's a large. This one's a larger lot. And then let's see. So this one. So this one to me is the closest one, but it's not a perfect, obviously comparable. But it's interesting because it's sold for 170 in August, and obviously the one thing that's interesting about this one, or makes it more difficult as well, is because it is, I believe this is a pretty major corner, right? It's a fairly major thoroughfare, right? So I would say that this little bit of noise pollution may decrease the value to some extent. Would you agree?
Okay. Well, if it's, yes, that's a major highway, I guess.
Yeah, it's a 4 lane, so that's something to consider when you're running this comp. But so that one sold for 175 in pretty as is condition, if you ask me. It may just be the area, right? People in certain areas don't go above and beyond on the fixtures and such, right? It doesn't make sense in certain areas. Once again, this one's very recent sale. It's again it's a wood build, right? It's not brick. And this one sold for, what was it? Well, 190 or 200,000. And I mean, it's very dated on the inside. It's clean, right? But I mean, they put some countertops on it, but overall, it's nothing. It's not like a major rehab, right? Carpets everywhere. So I would think that okay, so they do have some decent flooring somewhere, but it's okay. And then so 195, and then these are let's see. So E and so C, that was C. So this is the farthest one as well. So probably skip that one. I mean, D's across the street, but it looks like a shoot. Okay, I don't know why it's doing that. All right, so let me see. This one, 1960 build, so a good bit newer. No photos for 195. So whenever there's not photos, I just assume that it's in bad condition. But I'm going to check on PropStream for photos of this one.
Yeah.
But from what I'm seeing here, it looks like I don't know if you want to tell me what you have it under contract for, but I don't know how much rehab it needs. I mean, from these photos, it looks like, these are, I mean, it seems like the photos are, other than the colors and stuff. I mean, this is a little bit more dated than some of the other ones we saw, but ultimately, most of the homes that we're looking at and that we've seen up here. Okay, so the bathrooms, I mean, it's very clean. So it looks like somebody redid that pretty recently. And the paneling is awful, but it seems like every house. Ooh, okay, that's the attic. It seems like all the ones we've looked at like really haven't been flips, right? So these, to me, that's kind of that 200,000 is kind of that as is value. Now, something I'm definitely noticing here is that it looks like there's no central air in the homes.
Right.
There is no central air.
Right. So it does need central air and heat. It does have the roof was replaced in 2019, but I think other than that, everything else needs to be.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So HVAC is a large ticket item. It's definitely nothing to be scoffed at. I mean, it's a huge, rehab, one of the bigger rehab costs, right? So that's something to consider. I wanted to see if this one was, let's see. It's always better when you got pictures. Moving slow. So yeah, this one didn't ever have any photos, but it sold for 195. So we're seeing that 190 to 200 being really consistent amongst these. So I mean, this one was 220, and that's E. This one's even farther away. So I would, but this actually, let's see. This looks like they may have. No, it's pretty. Wow.
Yeah, and I saw that one too, and I saw a lot of them around that were really dated that were selling for like 245 actually. So, but again, they weren't connected.
Right. Yeah. So honestly, the biggest thing obviously is the HVAC. I mean, so we're going to put it on the spreadsheet here in a second, but trying to make sure I didn't miss anything here. So yeah, I mean, obviously this from here to here, I mean, in certain areas, right, that could be a major. I mean, that's I mean, it doesn't look far away, right? But that's a completely different neighborhood. So, and then F, where is F? That one looks like it's really far away. Okay, that one's pretty far out. And this one got 150. And it's the exact same year. Very lived in. But then again, there's one thing that like if you're something I always encourage is like to reach out to these agents that have sold these properties, because you might look at this and go, well, why did this get 150, right? And you're like, I mean, obviously it's very like lived in, right? There's a lot of kids that were living here, but like one thing to always is to pick their mind and figure out, well, maybe there's something we didn't see here. Could have had a foundation issue, could have had an HVAC problem, right? Like maybe there's something that you don't see in the photos for why it didn't sell for as much as the other ones. So just because you see a price like that doesn't necessarily mean that. And also that one's the farthest away. So honestly, I wouldn't consider that a comp. I'd say right now we're looking at 200 being a very realistic price as for resale. Obviously, we know the market's continuing to be hot. Interest rates are climbing, but I mean, we're looking like, we're not going to level off here. So all things being equal, let's put it on the spreadsheet. So I think 200K is pretty realistic. Would you agree?
Yes, I'm seeing what you just pulled up.
Is that what you thought it was, or Did you believe it maybe could go a little higher?
Well, as far as I calculated it as a complete flip, so it's 200,000, but like you said, those homes were pretty dated. I mean, that one house had just green cabinets.
Yeah.
So I calculated mine as, and I actually looked at it with my coach. He looked at it
Yep.
with me as well. But before I even um, before I even solidified the contract. But like I said, we did not see that it was connected and it wasn't a single family home. So with the comps as a single family home, I had it going for upwards of somewhere around 270 or 290, I think.
If it was
As a
fixed up.
went right as a single family home, completely renovated with about 70,000 in renovations.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, it seems like it's just um well, let's see on prop stream here. Like, what is the highest number we see here? I mean, so there's 270. This is in a half mile, which I don't really like going out a half mile radius. To me, I believe that's pretty far. Um, and this one wasn't this isn't actually the property, I guess, but either way, it's all in the same area. So I mean, obviously the difference between that half mile and that a quarter mile is pretty significant, right? I mean, in this quarter mile here, you're not seeing the prices that you want to see, right? But these are all condos. So let me see if these are, yeah, those are all condos. I don't know why Option never wants to show the photos. I'm just curious if these are brick condos as well. No, okay, so these are completely different.
Those are condos, as in what we think of condos.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So completely different. Not a comp. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, and the comps that I have are all within 2 to 3 minutes of the property.
Right.
So
Yeah. I mean, yeah, a half mile in theory isn't very far. So I mean, okay. So let's look at these. I mean, so I see that one you said for 270. Let's take a look at that one. So this is a 59 build. So a little bit newer. Sold 11 months ago. Let's see if Stella has the photos. There you go. Okay, so this is like a Rambler Ranch type, very desirable piece of property for most markets. I think, elderly people love it. And this thing is very nice. Look at that. So they did a great job on this flip. They probably knocked down a wall, opened that up. Yeah, definitely knocked down a wall. So it's nice and open feel. Did a great job seemingly on this reno. And but to buy that and to compare this one to that one, I mean, it may be a bit of a stretch, although this was a year ago. So, I mean, prices have gone up. Let's see about some other ones here.
yeah, but that's not even one that I used as a comp. But yeah, that was really nice.
Got you. Let me see what else you use or what else there is here. So there's another 59. This is looking like it's not a comp. That's a different style home. That's sold for 273 though. And I'm just more curious to see if these were flipped or not, right? So yeah, I mean, it looks like this is a quintessential flip job. It's completely vacant. There's no appliances. So this is definitely a flip. And I wonder what these people paid for this one. Because that's another thing that you always want to look at. Are you buying this to fix it and flip it yourself, or were you planning to assign it?
Assign it.
Okay. So that's always one thing that, let's see if Zillow has it. That's one thing to always kind of, especially when it's difficult to find a comp. So then you go the opposite direction and say, well, what would somebody pay for this, right? And that's not always easy to find either, but let's see if there's a history on. So this doesn't have any history. Where's this one? Aspen Woods. Let's see if PropStream can tell us what this person paid for, because that was obviously a flipper, right? So this could be somebody you could potentially reach out to that may be interested in this property. So this one, it was purchased cash in last year in March, and he paid 155. Okay, now we have no idea what it looked like. Unfortunately, PropStream doesn't. I don't know if that's just because of the issues that they're having, but seems like the photos never load anymore. So, but that person, so you don't know what the condition was. It may not have needed a whole lot. It's very difficult to say, but this gentleman here, Joel Fortune, sold bought it at 155 and ended up reselling it for 259. So yeah, I mean, I think this property is at least priced correctly. And you said you had it at list price?
155.
Okay, so it's above list. So let's look at it on the spreadsheet here. So 155. And then so these that are like at let's see, 239. Really frustrating that it won't add those photos, but it's okay.
What was the address of that property that you were just looking at?
It was I can put it in the chat box here at 103 Aspenwood.
103 Aspenwood.
I'll put it in the chat box. Let's see. So yeah, this one, see if they got those photos. Yeah, so again, this one's not, this is one of those split levels, but it's newer. But again, just curious if they did, okay, so they did a pretty good, this looks like it was a homeowner that just put some last minute sweat equity into it. That's weird. Those beams in the middle of the room. But actually, that might be the basement. That's probably that's where the door is, though. Anyhow, so
well, they don't have any basements there because it's close to the beach. It's close to
right. It's all on the split levels. You call that bottom floor, I guess, the basement, right? But you're right. That's not a traditional basement. Okay, so I mean, yeah, this is it's got the detached garage and stuff. So I mean, home is just like a nice lived-in home. But they got 249. And how far away was this one? Let me see. This one was which one was I looking at here? Number 18, 239. So this one's over. Yeah, this one looks like it was, where to go? Yeah, so I mean, these are all like in the same neck of the woods, right? But I just was trying to find one that was like, looked more like yours, but unfortunately that's okay. Here's one 1940 build. So let's see what this one looks like. Yeah, because I agree. 200 is like really the as is price, right? Okay, so look at this one. This one is, I mean, it's obviously it's a different style, but it's a 1940 build, so it's really similar. And yeah, I mean, they got 239, so this is another good comp. So honestly, from what I'm seeing, you're right. I think that this number is probably much closer to that 235 range, possibly more, just because of the interestingness of this property. But so let's readjust this. I mean, I think so. You're saying you're thinking 270, right?
Well, that was when I thought it was a single family house, and I have some comps, but that was when I thought it was a single family home.
Got you. And what do you think rehab costs would be for this one?
I
mean,
I think we came up with 70.
Yeah.
75.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, from looking at that, yeah, that's probably, possibly even more. I mean,
with the square footage, I mean, because it doesn't need a new roof, but it needs, cosmetic and then the HVAC.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, this one's tight. Now, obviously, if you could get 275, right, then this is a different deal. But that's kind of being, that's
very aggressive.
Yeah, it feels a little out of the box for me. I wouldn't really be comfortable like going with that leap of faith. But
yeah, no, do it. Show me what you have, because I want to see.
Yeah. So I mean, let's say 250, right? That's probably more realistic. I mean, or at least not realistic, more conservative. So you're at
Mm-hmm.
155. So I don't know if you've ever seen this. This is the rehab cost. Supposedly the net profit, if somebody flipped this, held it for 6 months, and then these are the oops, that's the interest charge. That's a really high interest charge. So this is like hard money costs, like 12%, 2 points, 15%. I mean, most flippers do borrow money. Now, if you're able to find a flipper that had cheaper financing, then this number would change. And obviously, if your rehab was cheaper, then this would change, right? So all this is kind of you're not sure of what the end buyer. Why is it not working? 40, like let's say it needed 45,000, right? Well, now this looks like a deal for somebody. And that whole time, 6 months is probably a little long. I mean, probably get it done in 4 months or something like that. But so I mean, just playing with this, I would say like I mean, so you're at 155. I'm sure you want to make at least 10, right? So at 165, you're selling it. Um, this is it's close. um, but do you have a buyer that's interested in this one, or would
I
you?
do not. I've been reaching out. There's lots of flips in and around. So I've reached out to those agents. I haven't gotten any interest, which is why I had reached out
Yeah.
to your.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I would say that, and for us, this would be way too tight. No,
Okay.
at 250. I mean, honestly, yeah, if you don't have a buyer lined up, I don't know, this would be difficult. But yeah, to me, from the comps we've seen, I mean, yeah, I guess the difference is whether or not you could get 275 for it, but that just doesn't seem clear to me. And if it was true, then this is a great deal, right? But if you don't have a lot of interest from the agents and buyers and stuff, then I would probably pass on this one just because it's it's too close.
Right. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Maybe what I'll do is just make one more phone call to that Aspenwood. What was his number? And then if I can't get any traction with that, I think I'm just gonna let it go. I just wanted somebody else to
totally.
reach out to cash.
Let me see. This one was it doesn't have a number. Whoops, there it goes.
Oh,
But
okay.
it does have. Do you have access to PropStream?
I do. Mhm.
Okay, cool. So one cool thing about it is, and it may not be here, but usually on these MLS details, it will show you the agent's information. So it's Vernon Sims, and
Okay.
that it gives you. Sometimes it will give you their cell phone. It doesn't look like in this case that they put their cell phone. So I would reach out to this agent and try to pick his brain and see if how this flip went for this person, and whether or not they'd be interested in it at that price. And I would just be open and transparent with them about what you're doing with it, and see if there's any interest. And if not, then this one may not be the one. But yeah, I hope that was helpful for you.
That was very helpful, actually. And I'm sorry, what's your name?
Sean Hayes. Yeah.
Sean, that was actually very helpful. You actually touched on some things that I hadn't been looking at in my flips, which were like the highway and location and things of that sort. So that just reminded me that I need to start doing that.
Yeah, it's yeah, I mean, nothing is exact, right? And I always encourage people to reach out to the agents in these markets who are more intimate with you know, the just everything, right? Because in little nuances like that, certain markets, right? People want to have a garage. Some people want to have it's like a nice flat space, or even the school district, right? The zoning, all that could play a factor, right? So that's why when you cross major roads, you want to make sure that you're in the same school zone and you're, right, because this stuff can change pretty quickly. So those little nuances and stuff are definitely important to at least consider and be aware of when you're comping these deals for sure. But
Okay.
yeah, well, I
Now,
wish you well with that. I don't, like I said, I don't know. Yeah, let me know how this one goes. I'm interested.
okay. Yeah, I'll probably end up releasing it. Like I said, as soon as I found out it was attached and not detached, I knew that I was kind of in trouble. So,
Yeah.
um,
What I would do is, maybe go back to the agent and say, hey, listen, and revise the offer. I mean, because, I mean, honestly, I'd say that from what we looked at, I mean, let's just be conservative and say 235. and be aggressive and say 80, which is pretty aggressive. If you got this at 135, which I'm sure, well, no, that's not going to work either. Again, we're being really under aggressive on the ARV and over aggressive on this, but
Right.
I think if so basically what I'm saying is I would probably resubmit an offer or try to renegotiate it. And of course, if they don't want to do it, that's fine. And say, hey, you know what? After my inspections and after my due diligence and everything, I'm only comfortable with this price. And then
Okay.
and if anything falls through on the other end for them, at least you're that you could be potentially get back in the mix for this one. So I wouldn't give up on it, but I would definitely not. I would think 155 is definitely too high. So that's my
Okay.
opinion.
And let me ask you one last question. Like you said, Zillow had this listed as a single family home.
Yeah.
Somebody else had it listed as a single family home. I did not notice that Redfin had it listed as a condo.
Yeah.
Have you come across that before? And
Yeah, actually, I mean, it happens a lot, honestly, and that's
okay.
one thing. I mean, I wouldn't say a lot, right? But there's definitely discrepancies, between the platforms, and usually it's because either the current person who bought it, went to the county and did something. So that's something that the agent would be, able to hopefully answer for you, right? And if they can't, then I would be skeptical, right? So that might be right. A question I would definitely ask the agents, like, hey, why is this one listed as a condo? Did they go through, the county? Do they have the permits? Why, and get an explanation for that, because that could be a good justification for why you need to be significantly lower.
Okay. Well, you know what, Sean, thank you so much for letting me jump on last minute.
Yeah,
I do
absolutely.
very helpful.
Well, you're welcome. Hope you have a great weekend. And if this one doesn't work out, I hope the next one does.
So much. You have a great weekend as well.
You as well. Take care.
Bye-bye.
All righty. Perfect. Dalton, are you on here? Did you want to have a property comp or anything?
Yeah, I'm at work, but I can throw one up real quick if you want. That's
Yeah.
kind of throw me through a loop, so I'll just throw it in the chat.
Cool. Are we back in Pittsburgh today, or where are we at?
Yeah, Philadelphia again.
Philadelphia. Okay.
Oh,
But you don't live in Philadelphia. You said you lived in where did you say you live? California or something? No, you were in
yeah.
California.
No, Ogden.
Oh, that's right. How was the beach last week? You were in Venice, right?
No, it was way fun.
Man, that's awesome. You like, were the restrictions like more chill there now, or what was up with that?
Yeah, they were all listed, so that was good.
That's cool. Perfect. And that's awesome. All right, let's take a look at this one. So what's the scoop with this one?
Pre-foreclosure, looking at like 40 to 50,000 rehab.
Sweet.
Hopefully locking it up for 80 to 90.
Yeah. Whatever happened to some of those other ones that we looked at? I know a couple weeks ago you got ghosted on those.
Still working through them.
Well, yeah, don't give up on those. I mean, some of those you had priced really well. So, I mean, at least the ones we looked at seem like deals on paper. So,
Follow up game, man. That's where we're at.
What's that?
Follow up. Just
Yeah.
try and get them to figure it out on their own.
Sure. Why do you come across so many properties in here?
I do like Facebook marketing in Philadelphia.
Oh yeah.
Trying to just get established somewhere.
Yeah, no, I hear you. Cool. All right.
Utah's crazy. I don't know if I'm ready for that.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, right? I mean, I definitely would now look at agents and stuff and see if you get stuff on market or something at least.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, marketing there could be tricky for sure. But if you get a deal there, right, it's going to be a good one. So
yeah.
Let's take a look. See, so this, and I mean, have you confirmed that it's 4-bed, 1.5 bath?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Only one bath.
4-1. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what Zillow says about this one. And then we'll look at prop stream as well. Right. Okay, so yeah, there's some, yeah, there's definitely some issues here. All right, so this is a row house. They consider this one, but yeah, it looks like none of them have any square footage stuff. Well, this actually Zillow says it's 1793.
Yeah, and that's pretty close.
Yeah, I think, yeah, okay. Yeah, cool. So let's see. Yeah, unfortunately with Philly, right? It always seems like these comps are so far away. And I mean, I'm sure you know from doing this that, you know, from here to there is possibly a different neighborhood, but we'll try to do my best here. So let's see. E is the closest. So let's take a look at this one. And let me check this little curbside here. What are we working with here? You know, and also really with Philly and stuff like this, you know, like some of the big important stuff, obviously, you know, outside of street and school zone stuff like that. I mean, is like parking, right? Parking's huge. I'm assuming this has street parking from what I see, right? So, let's see.
Yeah, just straight.
So this one's sold for 155. And then as far as like the condition of them, I mean, what are we talking about here? Like, is it like is it terrible in there, or what are we looking at for rehabs?
So I don't have pictures quite yet, but it's
What does it sound
almost
like?
sound like it's paint and carpet.
Paint and carpet, okay. Yeah, because again, like, you know, this Philly area, right? Like, especially it looks like in this particular area, like nobody's gonna go above and beyond, you know, on a flip, right? It's like, so this one got, I mean, yeah, so like, right, they kept the countertops probably through a backsplash, the countertop. Flooring is dated. Yeah, I mean, the floors are not, look at that, there's got a drop ceiling in there. How about that? Okay, the carpet, look at that carpet. So I mean, this yeah, so this was sold, and then the bathrooms redid. So I mean, this one looks like decent comp. It's apparently smaller and has one less bedroom, so all that's good news. It's 1925 build, and yours was a 1940, so that's more good for you as well. Was yours all brick as well? Let's see.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know if any of these I mean, there's no like HOAs or anything with these properties, right?
As far as I know, there's not.
Yeah, okay. So then basically everybody's responsible for them. Okay, cool. So yeah, that's 155. So that's a good as is sort of comp. What else we got here? Next closest one would have been F. So this one's 168, 13 years older. 115, 15 years older. And where the hell is D? D looks like that's the hella far one. So that's good, right? That's farther away, and it's about a bad price. C's across several major thoroughfares, 150, 120. So it looks like the kind of the little area that you're in might be a little bit more desirable. So that's good news. F is probably the second closest one, I guess. And these are all 3-1s and smaller based on what Zillow is saying. So everything to me is indicating that. So this one was what, February. Oops. So what do you have this at in your mind? Because I'm thinking you could probably be okay, so this one is like an older person, right? To live in here, that well-maintained property. to some extent. This got 168, and it's just clean, but it's ugly, but it's clean. So if your property is clean like this, you know, I'm thinking you could get this 165 number all day, you know.
What 165 kind of as is with like paint carpet?
Yeah,
Or
I
would that
mean,
be like an ARV?
well, yeah, I haven't seen one that's flipped, but again, you know how it is in these areas, right? You're not going to see a lot of flipped properties. So, I mean, I really like to base my area as is in certain areas like this. But you know, I would. So let's look and see a prop stream. See if there's any other comps though, just to you know, yeah, I'm thinking 168 to 175 range is like a pretty realistic number.
That's kind of what you think a buyer would pick it up for? Or
well, let's see if any of these. Most of those look like they were just kind of flipped.
I mean, I was getting like a ARV, but I went up a little bit farther out, and I was sitting at like 300,000 there.
Well, I mean, I see some prop stream, right? Some real houses that might be possible. So let's look at these. This is 1915. Wow. Okay. So, feet. I mean, this is a nice flip. This is definitely a flip. So let's see what this person paid for it. Now, yeah, see, this is really nice.
I think I put that one down. What's the address on that one?
This is 6113 Vine Street.
Oh no, I didn't actually.
And this has got a lot of. So this has a finished basement down here, as you can see, which that is like probably pretty uncommon in this area for someone to have that finished basement like that. And man, look at that. They did a great job with the brickwork in the front and everything. So this one, this is actually a really good comp for you because it's an older home, similar square footage. And it looks like there was only, well, it looks like there's 2 baths. So I don't know if this one was full though. It's kind of hard to tell. But yeah, is that the same vanity or am I tripping? Yeah. Is that a different bathroom? That's a different bathroom, right? Okay, so it looks like there's 2 full bathrooms. Okay, so that's important, right? Someone's got to add a bathroom to get that 300 for sure. And this one had a finished basement. There's another row one for 239. Oh shoot! By the way, I wanted to see what this person paid for that one because that was definitely a flipper. So. I mean, I'm thinking on paper, it seems like, because again, Philly is one of those areas, right, where these buyers, they're really stuck in their ways and they have inventory on trash properties. So, you know, they're just like not comfortable going above a certain amount. But this guy in 2019 paid, oh man, he paid 40,000. So, but that was in 2019. So, I mean, that's, yeah, he probably rented it for, you know, a certain amount of time or something like that, refied it. Who knows? I mean, so that I wouldn't hang my hat on that being like the price you should need to be at. But I mean, that is a flipper, so I would definitely keep that one. See what this one paid right here. This looks like somebody flipped this one as well. Definitely a flip. Comparable in square footage for you. This is a really nice flip. Okay, this looks good as a half bath. So 1.5 so far. Let's see if they finished the basement because that to me is, that doesn't really show you, unfortunately, if they finished the basement. Well, actually, yeah, it does right here. Yeah, so it looks like they went ahead and finished this basement too. So I mean, that's a big deal, I would think, here. And let's see what this guy paid for this one. Interesting. So, may just be. So you can see that this one that we're looking at right here, it was a bankruptcy as well. Is this yours, or am I looking at something different? Okay, no. Okay. So this what looks like it was a bankruptcy situation as well. my guess would be that this person picked this property up on terms, and probably didn't have to put a lot of money down. So this probably was a no-brainer for this person, right? And then they went ahead and sold it. So, but yeah, I mean, yes, that would be difficult to reach out to, but always, reach out to figure out the listing agents from these. I mean, this one, and call those, agents for sure to figure that out, right? Because those are going to be your best resources in these markets. But yeah, I agree with you. That 175 I was looking at was an as-is price. But I do see what you're saying here.
A little tricky.
Let me see. Where did it go?
Necessary.
Yeah, I mean, I see what you're saying. I mean, it looks like 240. I mean, these were older. This was 1 year ago at 240. This one was almost a year ago at 300. So to me, I think you're right. I think they're like, if somebody wanted to go to that, do the full flip job, then let's put it on the paper though. Let's see what we got. So you're hoping to be around 90, you said?
Yeah, they want 100. I threw out 80 as a soft number so far, and figure they were pretty excited about 80. So I'm sure we'll get somewhere around there.
Okay. So let's just say you end up reselling for 100 range and see how this looks on paper. The heck's going on, brother? Okay. And then let's be conservative and go like 225 to start. 6 months. I guess we'll stick with the 3 and 3. And then to do that level of rehab that we're seeing on those, I mean, we're talking about 100 G's minimum, right? I mean, especially ballpark 100 G's. So I mean, so yeah, I mean, this at that price point it wouldn't be very attractive, right? But now if we get up to that 175 number, which I believe is, there you go. So the question you got to ask yourself is like, would somebody put in 100 of their own cash plus a down payment? So you're in for like 115 to get a $50,000 return. I mean, to me, it's a great return. I don't see why anybody in any market would scoff at that, right? So to me, on paper, and this is also right, 6 months. If they're financing it cheaper, right, they get it for 8%. No points. I mean, that's not common, but there are flippers, and then they have a 1% listing agent. You know what I mean? They do it in 4 months. Now you're talking, right? Now these flips take longer in these cities because of the permits and crap like that. So you definitely want to overestimate on time for these, just for that city and stuff. It's not like Utah, right? You can buy it and relist that thing in days. And if it was off market originally, you're gonna get crazy bites on it. So but yeah, I mean, this to me on paper, I mean, even up, I would think a buyer would be willing to pay anywhere around that $100 mark, maybe even more, right? And of course, if it gets more, to get to that 300, right? Now that was like the most aggressive ARV we saw, but I mean, that's a home run all day, So
that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like you got a steamer if you can make it happen. So you said it was in pre-foreclosure. Yeah, I mean, I would. Do they know the details and stuff, like when the auction is, stuff like that, or?
They're super early, so they don't know quite yet.
Yeah. So one thing I would recommend is that try, if they aren't able to provide you the right information that you need, we always recommend saying, okay, well, how much would you like to walk away with? Because they owe something on it, right? I mean, that's why they're in foreclosure. So do you know what I mean?
Their rough payoff is $68,000.
Okay, so basically in their mind, right, they were trying to walk away with 40. Well, for me, I would say like, when these situations come up and they're not like what I'm trying to say is you don't want to let that paperwork and that lack of information be a reason to not put it under contract. So, if anything, I'd say, hey, I'll give you, $30,000, whatever you can negotiate, right? Like I would get more interested in what they need and how much money they need and what they're like realistically thinking for a walkaway price. And then I would write that as the, the purchase price being, $25,000 above payoff, right? Or whatever it is. I need 20, I can't do less than 20. Okay, well, I'll give you $20,000. So that way, like, if the information changes, right, and at least, you have it locked up and they have a clear expectation that you're trying to get them a certain number, right? And if it ends up being less or more, then it is what it is. But yeah, man, that's a good one. So
I built super good rapport. So like they don't want to buy, so they don't necessarily need money, like a whole chunk of money. They just want to rent. So I was like, well, let me find you a rental. So I've been hitting up my buyer trying to find them something to get into.
That's cool. That's a great idea. Yeah, definitely helping them find that. And then also, what was I gonna say? Yeah, I mean, this could possibly be a great one to pick up on terms.
Yeah, that's another thing I was thinking. I'm so new that stuff kind of. I think I'll fumble my words and mess it up, but
yeah. So I would just keep it simple and say, hey, like, what if, like, hey, what do you guys, what is your immediate cash needs? Like, that's something I would always say. What are your immediate cash needs, right? They're like, well, yeah, I'm gonna need 5,000 to move and down payments, stuff like that. So if you get this for like 5 down and say, you know what, I would really only be able to pay 75 for this, and I would put you walking away with 10. Like, but I feel like you deserve more. What if I could get you, 25, but it's gonna take me, 3 years? Like, would that be all right? And if they're like even open to something like that, then I wouldn't throw out numbers like that, but I would just feel that out, right? And a lot of times if they're older or something like that, they're gonna be like, yeah, no way, dude, just give me whatever you can and let's move on. But it's worth exploring. So because ultimately it would get them, more money. But what that would look like would just be a purchase and sale agreement with an addendum. So it's not overly complicated, but ultimately I think right now you're in a good spot. It looks like a good deal. So I would wish you well with this one and keep me updated.
And I'll be here every time you do the class. So
you got it, brother.
Really appreciate it.
Hey man, yeah, I appreciate you joining. Yeah, and then Mondays we got Celebrity Dial. Wednesdays we got the expert interviews, and yeah, these office hours. So hey, I appreciate you joining. Have a good one. Have a good weekend. All right. Anybody else? I think I got everybody. We're all good. All right, appreciate it, everybody. See you guys.